15 today, we speak with one lawyer who discussed what marijuana legalization could mean for the state's convicted nonviolent drug offenders.
And the 2021 legislative session begins today. We dive into what the most talked about bills will be, including sports betting and a centralized tax system.
And radar is quiet right now. Today's shaping up to be nice, but storms returning to the forecast. We'll let you know when that happens coming up.
From Fox 15 and KLAF NBC, News 15 Today starts now.
Good morning. You're watching News 15 Today. I'm Carter Seminow.
Good morning. I'm Alex Worstel. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Well, more Louisianians are backing marijuana legalization than ever before. A recent poll found that 67% say they would support legalizing the plant for recreational use.
That's right. But what impact could it have on the state's prison system? Well, News 15's Kenny Dar has that story this morning.
With the topic of marijuana legalization in Louisiana gaining steam recently, that raises the question, what could legalization mean for those inmates serving time for nonviolent drug offenses? Louisiana currently has the highest incarceration rate in the country at 680 arrests for every 100,000 people. 32% of the state's inmates are serving time for nonviolent drug offenses. Ryan King says, should marijuana be legalized, that doesn't necessarily mean those offenders would be released.
Unfortunately, the way that the system of laws work is that once you are convicted of a crime under a legal statute, then it's hard to kind of revisit that.
King says an offender's best chance at being released would potentially come down to a parole board taking into consideration the crime committed as it relates to an updated version of a law that the person violated at the time of their arrest.
Unless, of course, you're talking about, early release or something like that. If you want to get out on parole, the parole board may look favorably on that situation and say this is a non-offensive drug offense. This person has been serving a sentence for a year, 2 years, or what have you.
He adds that should marijuana be legalized recreationally, the Supreme Court could choose to apply the law retroactively, which would then give convicted offenders another path to freedom.
For those, again, that have already been convicted, they may be able to, get a new trial at that point because of the retro applicability of whatever this new law or what have you might be.
A retroactive marijuana law could also mean an increased caseload for lawyers as inmates would seek representation for their new trials. But King says he believes they'll be well prepared.
It could be a bit more busy, a bit more work, but I think the criminal justice system, the lawyers in Louisiana, I think they're positioned to be able to take on that additional caseload.
Legalization of marijuana in the state could provide much-needed relief to its strained prison system. In studio, Kenny Dar, News 15.
Well, Representative Richard Nelson recently introduced a 22-page bill to the Louisiana State House of Representatives aimed at legalizing marijuana.
Should the bill pass, the final decision would be left up to voters in 2022.
Well, let's get a check of the weather this morning with Storm Track 15 meteorologist Adam Olivier. Good morning, Adam. A cool and dry start to the day.
Yeah, great way to start the day out there, Alex. A nice day to maybe go out and have a cup of coffee on the porch. We are tracking some chillier temperatures out there, though. In Ville Platte, 50 degrees in Opelousas, 54 in Lafayette and in Breaux Bridge. You'll need a light jacket as you head out the door, but maybe if you're going to grab some of that coffee, definitely a medium cup with temperatures in the 50s through the rest of your morning. And as you head out to school today, we're going to see those 50s eventually turning into 80s. In fact, this afternoon, low to mid 80s. You're not going to need the jackets later on today. Shaping up to be a very beautiful day. Enjoy it. Storms returning to the forecast as we go into the day tomorrow. Details on that coming up.
Okay, good deal, Adam. Thanks. We will check back shortly. Well, after Saturday's EF3 tornado ripped through Palmetto, the St. Landry Parish government is asking residents to help identify storm damage. Now, officials say residents whose home or business experienced storm damage caused by the severe weather can visit damagela.gov and fill out an online damage assessment form. In doing so, it'll help the parish in qualifying for future federal funding. If you can apply on your cell phone, please do. It'll allow picture upload so the governor's office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness can categorize the damage.
Opelousas PD needs help in identifying two suspects that entered the racetrack on 1018 East Landry Street. Opelousas PD say a little after 10 a.m. on Saturday, these two suspects stole over $8,000 in cigarettes and liquor. The suspects were last seen getting into a smoke gray Dodge Challenger. If you have any information that could lead to their arrest, you're asked to call Opelousas PD as well.
Well, one of Lafayette's most profound restaurants is back and bringing along one of your favorites. Well-known Cajun restaurant Prejean's brought back the original Zydeco brunch with live Cajun music as part of the renowned restaurant's vision. Owner Tim Metcalf is excited and is committed to showcasing the best Zydeco and blues music in town because he says it shows the restaurant's culture.
Music is iconic as food is to Cajun culture, and I need to be fair to both. Or to keep the Cajun culture alive. So we brought it back for excitement and to help perpetuate the music. I know restaurants and musicians suffered equally during the pandemic, and if we can help each other recover and both, share a little bit in the profits, that's really what we're trying to do.
Well, Metcalf says if you have the chance, he would love for you to stop by for some authentic Cajun food and music.
Well, Zydeco Brunch was not the only brunch to come back to Lafayette. Sunday Brunch in downtown returned. This event was a way to have a family-friendly event where pedestrians could enjoy a beautiful Sunday in the district. There was live music, food, drink specials, and a vendor market to shop at. Several people say they couldn't help but to come out and enjoy the beautiful weather.
I came out to brunch with my best friends that I grew up with. We're in the city for the first time. And it's amazing. It's no humidity, it's beautiful, and everybody's so friendly here. So we're so excited to be here.
I feel great. It's pretty nice out here. People keep walking by, they're interested in what we have to sell, they all are having a good time.
Visit KLAF.com for updates on the next Sunday Brunch.
Well, this next one will make you smile. This weekend in Lafayette, organizations came out for a good cause that would benefit our area's Little League baseball and softball. Different organizations from Lafayette PD, the fire department, and the 100 Black Men of Greater Lafayette came out to paint, pressure wash, and clean up the park to prepare for the Greater Lafayette Little League's inaugural season that starts next week. One volunteer feels that the children should have the chance to play baseball or softball on a fresh new park.
I think it's going to be more of an awe, because they've seen it. It's been kind of old. The paint is going to be some upgrades in here. So for them as a young kid who walked into the park for their first time ready for Little League baseball, I think they'll be very excited. And we want them to be excited because baseball obviously is a very awesome sport for them. And we just want to make sure the park is clean, accessible, and has this bright look to it for them.
Moving on, Acadiana Workforce Solutions continues to give young adults a chance to further their work experience through real-life job opportunities. Those interested in participating in the Work Experience program were asked to enroll and receive paid internships and training for both in-school and out-of-school youth between the ages of 16 and 24. The operations director believes that the program ensures that the participants will better understand what career path they want to take. Still to come, the search intensifies over the weekend for missing LSU student and Opelousas native Corey Goche. We have the latest details on the missing 18-year-old.
And looking at that morning exercise forecast, we're looking at some pretty nice conditions for now, but changes on the way as storm chances rise. Details just ahead.
Up next, we dive into a local staycation here in Acadiana. We check in with Al Abear. He's in Vermilion Parish. After the break, stay with us.
Good morning. We see beautiful sunshine out there today. Hardly a cloud in the sky through the morning time. Temperatures jump from 60s into the 70s here and near 80 degrees by lunchtime. Very warm day setting up as we climb into the low to mid 80s, but clouds return later on tonight, and that is going to lead to rain chances in the forecast. In fact, through the next 7 days, rain chances each day. Best chances of storms, though, Tuesday and Wednesday with heavy rain possible and severe weather possible, too, on Tuesday.
Welcome back to News 15 today. Time now 6:11. Alex, one of the best things about Louisiana is that you don't have to travel very far to enjoy outdoor fun.
This is true. Al Abair is starting a week-long visit to Vermilion Parish with a bit of a staycation at Palmetto Island State Park. That's where we start this week, and we'll see what he found.
Hey guys, enjoying my first day here in Vermilion Parish on my staycation, here with Marcel Guidry, the park manager at Palmetto Island State Park. Marcel, tell us about where we are.
We are at the canoe launch pond area, which also has 2 pavilions, and this is where we rent the canoes from, right over there.
Now these pavilions are really cool. I mean, this would be the perfect place for a family gathering, really some kind of team building activity. What kind of people rent these places?
A lot of families, family reunions, birthday parties, wedding receptions, you know, you name it. Sometimes people will rent both of them at the same time. Yeah, we've had weddings out here on the grass.
Wow, this would be a perfect place to be married. I got to tell you, if you are looking to experience nature and Louisiana nature just right here in front of you, I just love this place, and it's so accessible. Now, we talked earlier, it seems like this is way out of town, but tell us, we're not that far from Abbeville, right?
We're about 10 minutes from Abbeville, basically.
And coming out here, which when you guys come out here, you'll see it, it feels much further. Why is that?
Because you go on a lot of winding country roads to get here.
So, you know, it feels a long way out. It feels isolated. When you get here, you feel so close to nature. I love it. Look, we're going to continue our visit to Palmetto Island State Park. We're going to go back to you in the studio. More News 15 today.
Well, early voting started on Saturday for the April 24th election. Polls, again, will be open until April 17th from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m., except for Sunday, April the 11th. Citizens who want to vote early may do so in person at the Parish Registrar of Voters' office or at the designated locations. Acadia, Evangeline, Iberia, and Vermilion parishes will vote on propositions.
The 2021 regular legislative session starts today, and there are some new bills looking to be implemented that could be considered hot topics.
That's right. News 15's Princess Janae Steverson Lowry spoke with State Representative Marcus Anthony Bryant of New Iberia, who says one hot topic is easily going to be a centralized tax system.
Saying that we need a system that's online with just one database.
Hypothetically, if they have businesses in 10 different parishes, having to figure out the system that those parishes operate under, the forms and the requirements of those parishes as it relates to paying their monthly sales tax, they don't have to deal with that burden.
This would bring in more revenue, and people could now tax online sales for things like Amazon and Wayfair. Another topic is the oil industry, where Bryant and Lafayette State Rep Jean-Paul Cousin are working together.
Basically, it's a job creation act by reducing the severance taxes, which is the taxes that they impose on pulling oil out of the ground. It's one of many efforts, to try to help business and create jobs.
This is a part of a tax reform session to lower rates and remove deductions and credits. And Louisiana's educational system is going to be a big one too. We have a $5 billion budget that would give students better fiber for virtual learning and pay teachers more.
Wanting a lot from teachers and wanting them to educate our kids and push our system forward at a lower rate of pay than other states, which takes away our competitiveness to attract better teachers.
Amongst just the southern states in the U.S., Louisiana teachers are paid $4,000 less.
Well, a few more topics to be considered would be sports betting in the parishes that approved it, the medicinal side of legalizing marijuana, the Wildlife and Fisheries Department trying to increase fishing license fees, and deciding how the money that we got from the government to help stabilize our state as a result of COVID-19 should be spent.
Well, the search for missing LSU freshman Corey Goche is still going strong. Her family and friends continue to seek answers in hopes of finding her. There was an ATV search on the levee near where Corey was last seen just this weekend, and the United Cajun Navy, along with several others, assisted the family in searching the area near the Mississippi River Bridge where Corey's car was found. Anyone with information that could lead to Corey's safe return is asked to call LSU or Baton Rouge police.
Still to come on News 15 today, funeral preparations are underway for Prince Philip as his son makes a rare appearance to speak on his father's death. That's later on in our show.
But first, storm chances are unfortunately returning to the forecast. Storm Track 15 meteorologist Adam Olivier tracking when they arrive next. Stay with us. It is 6:16 on your Monday morning.
Always tracking, always alerting. Here's your Storm Track 15 weather.
Welcome back. It was a beautiful day yesterday, and it's going to shape up to be another nice one today.
Yeah, Storm Track 15 meteorologist Adam Olivier joins us now. Adam, unfortunately, the nice weather won't be sticking around much longer, though.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. But, you know, we're not going to talk about that right yet because you know how I'm a sucker for a sunrise.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't
we
we
got
all?
a good one going on.
Yeah, it's
It's
beautiful.
beautiful. Yeah, shaping up today. We're going to talk about the good news first, and then we're going to get to the bad news. I want you to take a look at this. Just enjoy this picture. In fact, I'm just going to step off just so that you can fully grasp the beauty of this sunrise here, I-10 at Ambassador. A gorgeous, beautiful, dry, sunny, weather we like to see type start to our day. At least today is shaping up to be pretty nice. Now, out there right now, we are in the 40s in Ville Platte, lower 50s elsewhere. A cool start outside. You're going to need a light jacket. But as we head through the rest of today, look at the sunlight we have. 9 o'clock, midday, 3 p.m., not tracking a whole lot of cloud cover. 60s by 9 o'clock, 79 degrees by 12 p.m. 3 o'clock, we're at 83 degrees. So a very warm day overall, but at least it's going to feel dry for much of it. Again, those mid to upper 80s this afternoon, bright sunshine, but clouds begin to roll on in later on tonight. In fact, through the overnight hours, we are looking at a lot of cloud cover that's going to keep our temperatures, that coupled with the moisture return off the Gulf of Mexico, in the low to mid 60s. Damp feel really setting up here across Acadiana, leading to, well, storm chances. And that is going to occur tomorrow afternoon mainly. Now, it's possible tomorrow morning we are going to be tracking some showers at least, but the thunderstorms don't start forming until late in the day. A cold front back to our west going to send a surge of storms headed southbound, and it looks like for parts of the area, it could get pretty stormy. We are also tracking a severe threat for damaging winds, hail, and flooding with this system, though we can't completely rule out a tornado. The dynamics just aren't there for tornadoes to really form up. But this is a picture I want you to get in your head in the coming days. Very wet. Our futurecast picking up 3 inches or more possible as we head through just tomorrow. So this is going to be a wet setup here Tuesday and Wednesday. And then the rain chances, well, they continue through the weekend. But at least we see some cooler weather there. Although gray skies and cool weather, not really the type of weather I'm really excited about.
No, we call that spring in Ohio. Alrighty. Thank you, Adam. We'll check back shortly. Well, stay with us. We have more news and weather coming up after the break.
Yep, you're watching News 15 today.
Welcome back. 6:25 and preparations are underway in England for next Saturday's funeral of Prince Philip, expected to return from the U.S. for the private service at Windsor Castle is Prince Harry.
That's right. Prince Andrew, who's been largely out of sight since his interview about the Jeffrey Epstein case, spoke yesterday on his father's passing. NBC's Ralph Sanchez reports from Windsor, England.
We saw a rare public appearance today by Prince Andrew, the Queen's third child. He appeared in front of the cameras here in Windsor to pay tribute to his late father, Prince Philip. And he also gave us an insight into how his mother, the Queen, is holding up after losing her husband of 73 years.
The Queen, as you would expect, is an incredibly stoic person. She described his passing as a miracle. She described it as having left a huge void in her life. But we, the family, the ones that are closer, are rallying round to make sure that we're there to support her.
Now, all day preparations have been underway here at Windsor Castle for next Saturday's funeral. We've seen a crane operating inside the castle grounds. Generators have been moving in, but this is going to be a very different funeral to what was planned before the COVID pandemic. The public is not going to be able to attend in any form. In fact, there are only going to be 30 guests inside of St. George's Chapel for the funeral itself. Now, among those guests, we are expecting Prince Harry, who is going to fly in from California, but he's going to have to contend with Britain's pretty strict quarantine procedures. So we are waiting to learn more about the travel plans of Prince Harry as he returns from California to his native Britain to honor his grandfather, Prince Philip. Ralph Sanchez, NBC News, Windsor.
Well, Prince Harry's wife Meghan is pregnant and has been advised by her doctor not to travel to the funeral. Coming up in our next half hour, could banning indoor tanning for minors help decrease adolescent melanoma cases? Well, we have a look at that study coming up.
And a cool start to our day out there, but we could be talking about some even chillier air coming later on this week. Details just ahead.